Hi, everyone. I know that you're used to Mark being on here. We're going to just, mix it up a little bit today. We have a wonderful guest today.
It's Blakely, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
I'm glad I made it. Was I really late? Okay.
No, we're right on time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and making the time. We're all very excited to chat with you.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm really excited to be here, and it's so funny. We had met via Zoom before, and I
Mhm.
actually was at an event for ICAA the other night and got to meet you in person
Yeah.
too. So
It was such
fun.
a wonderful event. For those who don't know about ICAA, it's a fabulous organization for networking, and it has some of the most amazing people in the industry in
Right.
all
It's
different facets. So
Institute of Classical Art and Architecture. They're
yes,
national, international, and it's just the best group. And I have an organization, and I tell everybody in our organization, you got to join ICAA.
yeah,
Find your local chapter.
yes, exactly. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I know that you're used to having Mark on Designers at Home, but today we thought that we'd shake it up a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Blakeley Craft. I'm the studio director here at Mark Weaver and Associates. Um, and we thought it would be really interesting to sort of have a different topic on, and that's women in business and luxury design. So with that said, who better to join us than the one and only Jennifer Convy. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you so much.
For those of you who aren't familiar, the few of you, Jennifer Convy is a celebrated interior designer, TV host, producer, lifestyle expert, and entrepreneur. She has had the privilege to create, host, and produce many of her own TV series relating to her two passions, which are design and travel, internationally specifically, on many major networks to a global audience. Jennifer is the host and producer of the popular webcast series Wild on Design, where she has in-depth, lively discussions with design icons and leaders in the luxury design and build industries presented by the Pacific Design Center and Women in Luxury Design, which is Jennifer's foundation, which is luxury design business networking organization bringing together leaders in the industry where she is CEO and founder. Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
that's true. Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you for the intro, Blakely. It's a pleasure to meet you. We love Mark. We love the whole team there. No, I'm really excited. We're going to have a girl chat, I guess,
Yeah.
today. Really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's important for us girls to, connect, especially in business, right?
Yeah, it really is. People think that design is, a primarily women dominated industry, and that's not necessarily the truth.
Mm.
So, with that said, I would love to hear your thoughts on, because you are kind of, an expert in this. You have had an
Only
amazing
because I'm a woman.
multifaceted career. What? Yeah.
Yeah, just by being a woman.
Yes,
About the
exactly.
women thing. Well, yeah, so it's really interesting. So I have this business networking organization, Women in Luxury Design, aka Wild.
Mhm.
I couldn't name it Wild because when I Googled Wild Women, Wild LA, I can't unsee what I saw. So no, we don't
Right.
want it's just a nickname. We don't own that, and we don't want to really. But yeah, so Women in Luxury Design, truth be told, we are a women's organization, but we do have men and women. We do events that way, and I'll get to that. But I find that there's such an amazing sisterhood, and basically what the organization is, it's a private, we're private, vetted, invitational, or nominated only network organization. We take two principals per firm. It's any industry, including interior design, architecture, hospitality, real estate, art, and all the adjacent luxury design build industries. We're sponsor driven and sponsor friendly. And I just had this thought. I was in another organization and I thought, why you know, I've had networking organizations before on TV, you know, in that industry. And I just would always see business cards flying and people connecting. And I was in this other group and it was very casual. And I went, you know, we need to do this on purpose. Women with a purpose, meeting with the purpose of expanding the circle of opportunities, collaborations, and relationships and community in business. And I thought, you know, if we build it, we'll see if they come. And what's amazing is, you know, I'm always amazed. Not only do they come, but they bring this energy. If you create this atmosphere where we believe community, not competition, I really see it at work. You know, that old school way, and we all know a few that still believe, you know, I can't share my recipe, I can't share my sources because I need to get credit for that. You know, Google sort of blew all that out of the water. Yeah. So we're in the age of collaboration, you know, and we're stronger for it. And I'm just so grateful. It kind of takes all the things that I did, producing, putting on a show, interviewing, media training, all that. I do by creating content, inspiration, speakers and panels, and really cool events. So I'm really happy and thrilled, and it's full time. And the webcast is with Pacific Design Center, who is partnered with us, and we're so grateful to them to distribute the Wild on Design, which is interviewing design icons. We'll get you on it. We have to get you on that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I actually,
and Mark.
in preparing for our talk, I was watching a few episodes, and you've had some really, really wonderful guests.
Very lucky that way. Yes, just amazing guests. We have two coming up, Richard Landry.
Oh, great.
Building a Legacy, and Julian Lennon.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so those two are coming up. So thank you for checking it out. But yeah, we'll have you on. We have to have you guys on.
We love it.
Yeah, we'd love that. But anyway, you're a woman in business, and you know, how many women work at the firm? Not to put anybody on the spot.
Just me. Yeah, we have had other women in the past, but currently I am the only woman at the firm. I run the business side of it, so it's very interesting.
How so?
Yeah. So, you know, we deal with a lot of businesses and vendors that are, you know, male dominated, and it can be challenging sometimes. It's I find that not to throw anybody under the bus, but I do find that there are some men still out there who have a preconceived notion or prejudice against women in business or professional women. Mm-hmm. And they, you know, there is that machismo attitude still out there. And, you know, it's a little disheartening to see, but, you know, I think it's to their disadvantage.
Yeah. You can, right, exactly. I find that as a woman in business, you know, and I've traveled all over working, and I feel like they always want to talk to my male counterpart. Mm-hmm. If given a choice, even if it is my 23-year-old sound guy.
Right.
You know. I'm like, no, I'm the boss. You know, no, you can talk to me or the other female producer. And I find that I get questioned more. Mm-hmm. I would say that's something I don't think, and the type of questions, like your expertise or your knowledge and stuff, I don't think a man-to-man would necessarily happen. So we have a ways to go, but still, being in the United States as a woman, it's still the best place to be considering, even with recent history. And somebody asked me recently, you know, and my answer would have been different a while ago, but in recent times they asked me, so why a women's business networking organization? And I just said, till we don't need one anymore.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we're still in that period of time where we need to continue to build each other up. You know, it's just like you said, you know, share recipes, you know, share knowledge, share information, share networks. Like, we have to continue to build each other up, because there are so many people out there that continue to just consciously or not want to, you know, knock us down, and we just got to keep at it.
I think, as a society, I think that exists, male and
female.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, that's absolutely right. And, you know, I talk about this, that topic of, if you feel there's competition and you feel that you can't share your resources and that that's a threat to you, then you're not doing it right. Everyone in this fabulous community that I absolutely adore, I mean, the creative individuals in our design build community is extraordinary here in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
In particular. And of course I'm biased, but and that's men and women. We celebrate the men that stand with us, not behind us. They write the checks, they hire us, they give us executive positions until more female business owners own their own businesses.
Yeah.
And we celebrate, we're one humanity. We are. That is the goal for the sensibility of that. But, you're not doing it right if you really, if you're really honed in on how you're unique and how, what expertise you have and how special you are and what you have to offer, your own value in whatever it is that you do, then you will never feel that there's competition, and you're not approaching your business like that if you're on point with messaging and all that. So,
right.
Really it's impossible. No two people bring the same thing to anyone. And I always say this, in coaching too, you can have the best portfolio in the world, but if they don't like you, feel you're authentic and true and true to who you are, all those things, that trust factor, well, they won't hand you the keys to the kingdom. You're an expensive venture. It's an investment. So yeah, it's not just about being talented. It's about owning it and really being true to you, yourself, and the best version of you, not a different version of you, the best version of you.
Bringing all of that authenticity to the table.
Right. I want to ask you, because you were one of those gifted, lucky people that knew you wanted to be in the design world early on, right?
Yeah. So, it's really actually very interesting. And I always thought that I was very lucky in that. I knew that I wanted to be an interior designer from a very, very young age.
How young?
I think I was like 11 years old.
Gosh.
And I was one of those kids who, I'd have slumber parties with my girlfriends from school on the weekends, and we'd move all the furniture around, and my mom would come in and it would make her crazy. Her living room was totally different. So, of course we have to move it back. And it was all wrong. But yeah. And, as I've, developed in my career, I've met so many other, I was going to say women, but people in general who have had so many different career paths in their professional life. And it makes for such a more interesting, well-developed professional, I have found. So, and I
love hearing that, since I'm on my 7th or 10th incarnation, I feel like. But don't downplay the extraordinary experience you have and all the facets that you bring, with all the time that you've had to really nurture your passion and your interest in this field, because we all know how much that of you is involved in that, meaning so many different facets that you have to bring together to do your profession.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. There's so many different parts of running an interior design business that, everybody thinks, oh, you just, pick paint colors and fabrics and make the room pretty. That's, if you're good at it, that's like 10% of the job. The rest of the other 90% is business. And if you don't have a good business sense, you are going to drown.
Yep. I just met someone the other day who was in marketing and said they just hired somebody, and they said, oh, we read on their resume that they actually worked in a restaurant for 6 years when they were younger, and they went, oh, hired. They'll work good under pressure. They're good with people. They can multitask. I went, that's so cool, because, when I was starting out trying to figure it out, I was an actress. I was a performer, my former life, and a dancer, a body ago, I always like to say. Hard for me to remember, but it's true. You used to have to be so focused, like your resume is perfect. And, now today it's so different than when I was starting out, where, the preconception was, well, if you weren't focused, you couldn't put anything in your career that wasn't directly applicable to the
Right.
job that you wanted, right?
Right.
Career or job. And now they want to know you're well-rounded. It's, you know, they want to know your hobbies. Great, you ski. Great, you do this. They want to know that you have the discipline. They're looking between the lines, which I think is a much healthier way to go.
Oh,
If not all of
completely.
us are new and know at 11. You know?
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, going back to what you were saying about, you know, somebody gave a resume with 6 years of restaurant experience. I mean, great. That person is going to grind it out for you. They are going to, they're going to be a workhorse. They're going to make it happen,
Yeah.
you know? And that's,
And people,
you know, when you're thinking, what's
and
that?
people skills, soft skills.
Yeah, completely. And, you know, when you're, you know, in high school thinking about what do I want to do with my life, you know, nobody ever thinks like, oh, well, I should have, you know, X number of years experience doing something else first. I think it's so important.
Right. No, absolutely true.
So,
And you know, what's interesting, I mean, I can speak to pivoting and changing, and you know, I find that I'm extraordinarily surprised and inspired by people who are killing it in design and build. I interview a lot of people and as well, and you know, they started at 30.
yeah.
They had a career in finance for 10 years. You know, they raised 4 kids. It's like, a woman who has children and a career, let's just say a job and works. I'm just power to the super women. Seriously, I don't have children. I can get myself and the dog out in the morning. You know, I'm doing good. But you know, my hat's off. My hat's off to our super beings, especially the moms out there. But yeah, it's really a big transition, you know, and pivoting. And I find that everyone I've talked to, though, their skill set from whatever it was, even if it seems completely different, the finance helps them in their business. What if they were a painter and they decided to become a designer, or whatever it is, they're taking a skill set and marrying it in. They're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
Right.
They're not necessarily going back to school. They already have a skill set with them being on the planet and being working that they can take with them. And I think that's really important to remember if you are going through a transition and pivot, to really think, gee, I have X amount of time. What do I really love? And what do I bring to that? Because you are going to have skill set that you, like it or not, will bring to, and usually it's always a plus.
Oh, yeah, completely. I mean, you know, I have a girlfriend who she's got a 4-year-old, and baby number 2 is coming next week. And we worked together in the design industry for, I want to say 7 years. And she, you know, she's been doing the mom thing, raising her daughter, and she is just killing it. But, you know, she talks about wanting to get back into the design industry and like, you know, is this the right thing? Is it the right time? And I always tell her, listen, you know, don't let time be the dictator of what your life trajectory is going to be. There's always going to be more time. Sure, you know, we don't live forever, but, you know, you can have this life right now of so many years raising your family, and that's wonderful. You're never going to get this time back.
Time back.
Never get
that's
that
right.
time back.
Time.
But you can, the design industry will always be there for you to go back to. So, you know, or if you decide after the fact you want to go and do something else and I don't do kids parties or something like that, you know, you can do that. There's no hourglass on something.
It's true now. People are starting careers much later in life, and new careers or their third career, or like me. You know, I left TV, so my huge pivot was I'd been doing television for, you know, most of my life, but 15 years of my own series, and I traveled all the time. It was national, international, every other month. And I, you know, my father's daughter, you know, who was no longer with us, he literally worked himself to death, and because we love it. We love working, we love what I do. And I burned out. It was costing me my health because I could do it and I had a lot of energy 7 days a week, was living in amazing hotels. I'd come back into town. I always kept up my place, whether it was Canada or LA or wherever it was, New York. I'd come in for 3 days, repack, go do
your
voiceover for the stuff,
laundry
go
and
back
repack
out.
your suitcase.
Yeah, just my personal stuff. Wardrobe was shipped. But, I started to feel like a tourist in my own hometown. And I just said, I want to hang my shingle and do design. I had already been doing it and I didn't have time for it in TV. I was designing room makeover shows in the end there for A&E for like 5 years on my show. And I just thought, I've done this. I feel really proud of the body of work. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything. I just need to have a life that isn't in a hotel. And, at the end of the day, you want to be in your own home and eat the food you want to eat. And, nobody feels sorry for me. I'm super grateful. My passions were travel and design, and I had shows in both of those. Pinch me, already in my chosen vocation. I came from TV. So I came from it and moved into that. I wasn't interested. I was working for E! and entertainment and all that. And I wasn't as passionate about it. I come from an entertainment family. And I left my own show. The network went, what? And best thing I could have done, really hard. They went, what, are you crazy? Yeah. Yeah.
So did you take some time off after that just to kind of, eat, pray, love, figure it out?
Yeah, I took some time off. I revamped, rethought about what I wanted to do. It was a terrible time. Things were crashing, and so much for putting up my own shingle and starting a design firm. It was bumpy. It was really bumpy. And then I started figuring it out. Wait a minute, I come from TV. I can have a webcast. Wait a minute, I'm doing design now. Then it sort of all just came together. You just have to sometimes stop and figure out what's missing, how do I hone in on what I really want? What's the next incarnation of what I already love?
Yeah.
For me, that's what it was. So good problems to have.
Yeah, good problems. All very good.
Yeah.
So in your travels, were there any specific places that you loved going, that you found the most inspiration?
Absolutely. And I have a bucket list of places I want to go to. I love South Africa. I was so in love with it that I wanted to bring design here from the African carved stools and things like that, and the Kuba cloths. I'm a textile freak. As a kid, when I was like 3 years old, I was playing with my mom's fabric samples. I just had a thing for tactile textiles and collecting. South Africa. I was most surprised by Central America. Guatemala City was extraordinary. There's a university there. There's 40,000 students, but I bought every loomed textile, the wedding blouses, the embroidered stuff that I could get my hands on.
Oh my God, fabulous.
And I still have that stuff, and made stuff out of it. I mean, that was a huge surprise, but I mean, I've been to islands and Australia and the Great Barrier Reef and every mode of transportation. Mostly, I would say, Western Europe. I didn't get to Asia yet. Morocco's on because I have so many Moroccan things that I love. But yeah, I'd say my biggest surprise was Guatemala. The other one would be Cape Town, and all through wine country in South Africa. Just was on my bucket list. And yeah, I think all of it's been amazing.
Yeah.
All of it's been amazing. It's just very isolating, but it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an incredible adventure to be able to go on.
I am beyond grateful. It is. I think that's the inspiration. It's what I missed so much during COVID, just not even leaving the house. In LA, we were the first lockdown and the last to open up. So yeah, I have the travel bug again, but really there's so much in your backyard. I went to the Pasadena Showcase House. I flew up to San Francisco Showcase House. There's so much inspiration in our backyard. You really don't have to go very far to be inspired by design or the latest something. It's just making sure you do it.
Yeah. I'm very bad about planning trips. My husband he loves to travel, so I always kind of.
That's good.
I'm very lucky in that I can just rely on him to, you know, plan the next one. We haven't really had a big trip since COVID. We had planned to go to, we were going to go to London and then to Italy, and we were going into the Bologna region, the Bologna Parma area. And when we, like, the week before we went, it was all, you know, the COVID talk, like, oh, what's happening with this? Is it going to quiet down? Whatever. And I said to him, you know, this whole COVID thing sounds like it might be getting kind of bad. Maybe we should just, you know, reschedule our trip or, you know, postpone it. It's like, well, you know, let's at least do London. So we didn't go to Italy, which actually turned out to be a blessing because that was the area that was red zone very first.
That's right.
So we'd have been stuck there.
And there for a long time. Yes.
We would have been stuck there for a long time, which doesn't sound bad, but they were pretty strict about when you could go out, where you could go. So it wouldn't have been like an Italian vacation.
Nope.
But then we recently went to Mexico for our anniversary, which we love. But our next trip is going to be to Tokyo. So, and I'll let you know the details when I get them. I just let him plan.
Please do. I'd like to go to Tokyo too. Why are you inviting me?
Come on, join us. We love it.
How long have you been married? What anniversary is this?
This is, oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I think it's 5.
All
yes,
right.
5. We've been together 10 years. We got married on our 5-year dating anniversary because I don't remember dates. I'm so bad. But luckily he does.
He keeps track. Well, somebody's got to celebrate it. Okay, good.
Yeah, so we're good about celebrating it.
I have to, I got it before, I'm not going to forget, but I'm sitting in this gorgeous showroom. I am shamelessly going to say I am so proud and excited that Baker McGuire Furniture Interiors is our sponsor, Women in Luxury Design sponsor, our newest sponsor. And I'm sitting in this fabulous showroom, which is really a labyrinth of room after room of gorgeousness. So we're super excited to be here and talking with you today, right out of the PDC, my happy place.
Well, the Baker showroom has so much gorgeous stuff. For those of you who haven't been in recently, you have to take a trip over there. It's just spectacular.
This chair is awesome. It's just
the most comfortable things.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, they're iconic and gorgeous. I was just in here and it's all redone. Yeah, no, it's amazing.
You know, I haven't been in the past, I would say, few weeks, so I definitely need to get over there.
I was here a week ago. Everything's
different? Oh, God. Got to get over there.
Too fun. Too fun. Well, Blakeley, you're really, I can't believe you need to be doing this all the time. We love Mark.
Oh, gosh, I know. This was so much fun. We'll have to have another segment.
We will. We'll have you on the webcast. We'll just go back and forth.
I love it. Perfect. We'll just bounce back and forth. Well, thank you so much for your time and, you know, carving out the time to do this. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate it. You can find this talk and all of our other talks on our podcast and IGTV. And happy Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.